everyone! The 4th of July is my absolute favorite holiday, followed very closely by Thanksgiving, and it's such a celebratory time right at the start of summer. And when it comes to food and wine, it's all about delicious flavors that are easily shared. And I say shared because unlike Thanksgiving, Independence Day is usually a gathering where there's more going on than just food and wine, right? People are in the pool, or they're playing yard games, or watching fireworks. So rather than a formal sit-down meal, I like to put things together that everyone can graze on as they enjoy whatever else is going on in the background. Now that being said, we are celebrating our nation's Independence Day, so we want the occasion to be a little bit more upgraded. It definitely calls for it. We're gonna have an amazing dining experience. Today, I'm sharing my recipe for the best ever summer surf and turf featuring Aspen Ridge natural Angus beef New York strip steak. And I picked this up at my local Safeway, very easy to find here in Colorado for the turf portion, and then delicious tender lobster tails for the surf portion. And I cooked both of these on my pellet grill outside so I could still be a part of the 4th of July festivities while everybody was celebrating on the patio. I decided to serve everything family style on a nice grazing board with crispy potatoes, green beans, and seasoned drawn butter. For wine, I paired this meal with a delicious duo of wines, of course American wines. I chose an unoaked Chardonnay from Washington State, and then a gorgeous single vineyard Pinot Noir from Sonoma's Russian River Valley. So this way there was a little bit of something for every palate, and I was just blown away by how well each one of these wines paired with all of the flavors on the grazing board. The New York strip steak I chose from Aspen Ridge Natural Angus Beef is USDA choice graded, certified humane, and it has no added hormones or antibiotics, none of that crap. Aspen Ridge is super transparent about the way that their beef is raised, and it's something that I'm always looking for in all my ingredients when I'm cooking, so it really shines through in the flavor and the texture of each and every one of these cuts. The night before I cooked this feast, I placed my New York strip into a container and then marinated it in plenty of barbecue sauce. If you can't marinate it overnight, I recommend at least 3 hours. When I pulled it out of the marinade, I applied a rub to all sides of the beef, and I've linked to a few of my favorite barbecue sauces and rubs below, but you can absolutely use your favorite, whichever you prefer with this recipe. Now, the lobster tails. Since this is a grazing board concept, I recommend looking for smaller tails and buying more of them. So 1 or 2 for each person. And I really like the small ones also because they're a lot more tender than the big guys that you sometimes find. And you can get more bang for your buck if you're serving a larger group of people. So I love the small ones. To prep the tails, you're going to want to butterfly them. So it takes a little practice to master this technique, but it's honestly pretty easy to do, and it makes them a lot easier for everyone to eat and enjoy when they're sitting out on the patio. So you're just going to take a heavy-duty set of kitchen shears, and you're going to cut a slit lengthwise through the top of the shell, stopping just before you hit the start of the fan at the base of the tail. And then from there, you'll just use your fingers to pry the meat loose, and then you'll pull it up on top of the shell, being careful not to pull it away from the base of the tail completely because you want it to rest on the shell when it goes onto the grill. From there, you're just gonna check the tails over and rinse off any shell fragments and anything else you don't wanna eat, right? And once they're all totally prepped, then you'll place them on a dish and keep them in the refrigerator until you're ready to cook them. If you're making any sides, this is the time to get everything dialed in and as close to being ready to serve as possible because things come together pretty quickly from here on out, and you'll want to put all of your focus and attention on the grill. I made easy crispy potatoes and fresh green beans from my garden, but you could mix it up. A little corn would be amazing, a fresh salad, whatever sounds good to you. When you're ready, preheat your grill to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, and while it's warming up, you're gonna prep your butter mixture for the lobster tails. In a saucepan, melt your butter, and once it's melted, turn off the heat to avoid burning it accidentally. And then add some fresh squeezed lemon juice, garlic powder, a little salt and pepper, and any other seasonings you like. When the grill is hot, remove your lobster tails from the fridge and spoon a little butter mixture over each one, leaving the rest reserved for dipping. We're gonna put that in a ramekin and add it straight to the grazing board. Place the lobster tails directly on the grill grates and close the lid and then wait for about 8 minutes. From there, you're gonna add your steak to the grill and close the grill top down and cook that for about 4 to 5 minutes. Then you're gonna turn the steak over and cook another 4 to 5 minutes. We're not touching the lobster tails throughout this process. When the meat reaches your desired temperature, for me that was about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, you're gonna pull it off and let it rest. Keep in mind that all grills are a little bit different and your meat thermometer is your best friend when you're cooking on the grill or even in your oven at home. It really just depends on how hot it gets. And you'll know the lobster tails are done when the flesh is opaque white, kind of like when you cook shrimp. You're gonna let everything sit for a few minutes before you slice into the New York strip steak, and then when you're ready, cut the beef into thin slices and arrange all the ingredients on your grazing board. You'll place that butter that you reserved into a ramekin. You probably have to reheat it just a little bit first, and then that's gonna be perfect for dipping. Serve everything immediately. For more info on this recipe and the wine pairings that I selected, check out the blog post linked below, and be sure to drop a comment if you test this out for your Independence Day celebration. Happy 4th of July, everyone.